How would you like to earn more money without having to increase the number of clients that you get? I am so excited to bring on my mentor, a true, amazing, and incredible friend of mine who gave me my first start out of college when I was just a young kid out of school and really showed me so much, taught me so much about marketing, and gave me platforms to help me educate and share the things that I knew, which later led to me starting my business and you being here today. And so I am just so excited to bring on my incredible friend, the one and only Steve the Hurricane, to talk about how you can start increasing your margins to generate more revenue and increase your profits for your home care business. Let's dive in. All right, Steve. So how can we build a more profitable home care business?
Nick, this is a fantastic question. This is one of the questions that people contact us and sign up for services with us literally every single day because it's almost like a pandemic, dare I say the word, of the home care business. So when you look at like the Home Care Pulse, for example, the Home Care Pulse report, they get all this study from thousands of locations. And right now, the industry average agency is only profiting 7%. So that means that if you do $1 million, you have $70,000. You do $5 million, you're going to have $350,000 as profit. That's not enough profit for it. So to increase profits, there's several ways you can go about it, all right? The easiest way is to trim the fat. What can I do that I'm spending money on that I shouldn't be spending money on? Making sure that I have efficiencies. A lot of businesses are probably wasting 2 to 3% of the revenue on things that are not giving them the return that they expected, or they're not utilizing it to its fullest, and there's no point in investing it. So that will take you from 7% to 10% right off the bat by just going through and doing an internal audit. The more important thing, though, is to increase your rates. And now it sounds easier said than done. And every time I ask people to increase the rates, I get met with a ton of resistance at first. And the resistance is, well, but my families, they can't afford this, or I don't know if they are going to pay this much money. And then they start getting nervous, right? Because it actually takes sales skills to be able to sell at a higher rate. So what I come back to is say, well, the first thing you got to do in order to increase your rate is make sure you have the right type of customer, right? Because when you look at all of the different type of people that call, you get people that call for a bath visit once in a while. You get somebody looking for coverage over a weekend. Maybe they just want evening hours to help somebody get ready for bed or something of that nature. Those type of calls, they shouldn't be going to an agency, right? And that's what caring.com exists for. That's where hiring a caregiver directly exists, because there's no need to have somebody every single day and they have to be at this time and so on and so forth. So the target customer that I teach my clients how to be able to find are the nerd. And you've heard me talk about a nerd, right? And it's an acronym: great need, somebody with 5 or more conditions or 5 or more ailments, right? They have congestive heart failure, which makes them shortness of breath, unsteady on their feet, high blood pressure, and maybe they also have diabetes or something else. That's 5 different ailments, right? That's a great need client. They're not going to call you for a bath visit. They're going to call you for 56 hours a week. They're going to call you for 84 hours a week, live-in care, a lot of hours, right? Somebody who's elderly, that's obvious. That's the E in nerd. The R, resources, who have financially can afford the services. That's a key part of it. It doesn't mean that they're independently rich and wealthy, but it means they have some resources, whether it's a retirement fund, a pension, they own their house and they have equity in their house. They can get a reverse mortgage. They're not on Medicaid. That's basically what I'm talking about with the resources. And then the D is somebody who's disabled and or dementia. Why is disabled and or dementia so important? Because that means long term. That means when they sign up for services, they're not going to discontinue next week or the week after. They're going to be with you for months, maybe even years, which makes it easier to staff. You place one caregiver to one client, and then they're together for 6 months. That's going to allow you to generate profit. That's going to allow you to be able to generate longevity, etc. On top of that, all right, and this is where, again, building out the business, it comes to the fulfillment. So when you're bringing in this nerd customer, right? This nerd customer is somebody that needs a lot of help. They need help every single day. So the justification of charging the higher price will come in. You're going to also have to have two positions. One position I call is a care coordinator. The care coordinator is somebody who's going to be going out and visiting your client and your caregiver 3 to 4 times a month. This is every 7 to 10 days, which most agencies are not offering this, which is why they have a hard time increasing the price. So when I say increase the price and then include this, they're like, oh, that makes sense because now I have to hire another position. Right. But what does this do? This gives the caregiver the support that she needs so she feels confident taking care of this patient, as well as it's a liaison from the company coming out and seeing the patient regularly and then reporting and following up with the family. So the family's getting more updates on a regular, consistent basis. Now, over the years, a lot of people tell me, well, we call our clients and we talk to them over the phone. Nothing is going to do the benefit like showing up and actually doing a field inspection and making sure the house is cleaned properly and run the way it's supposed to, and the caregiver has all the supplies that she needs to make it a workable situation for that patient, and they're getting the care that they need, and then following up the family and saying, hey, listen, we went to the house, mom isn't looking so good, so we scheduled an appointment for her to go talk to the doctor, right? Like, you can't do that over the phone. So that's why this care coordinator position is so important. Right now, without the care coordinator position, and I hope I'm not going off on a tangent, but this is how you increase the profits, right? By charging more, but this is the justification to charge more because you're offering a superior service, right? That makes sense? So again, with this care coordinator, the model is you place a caregiver in the house, you come back out every 60 to 90 days to follow up. That's not adequate enough for the nerd patient. So the care coordinator, now you open the case up, you come out there 3 to 4 times a month for the first 2-3 months. That's 8 to 12 visits. That's significantly more touch points. That increases the value to the family. The benefit is received. They're loyal to the agency. The caregiver wants to stay with you. And again, it's justified. The price increase, you're good. The second position that you need to add is what's called a team lead. As a matter of fact, in my magazine that came out in the fall of last year with Franny here, Franny's one of my top clients in Denver, Colorado, absolutely crushing it with these team leads. A team lead is what I call a guaranteed work caregiver, right? So why an agency is why I say the nerd customer. They need help every single day, right? That great need that I mentioned at the beginning with all of those ailments. That person can't go a day without care. If you don't send somebody out that day and they don't have care, they might end up falling and ending up in the hospital. Like, they have to have somebody every single day. So in order to be able to deliver that, you have to have these caregivers, which I call guaranteed work caregivers, team leads, and their sole job is to come to the office every morning at 9 o'clock, and then you assign them where they're going to go for the day. If you're taking care of 50 patients, every day you have 1 or 2 call outs, every single day. So you should have 2 team leads. And then those team leads, they go and they cover the shifts of the people who called out. So this way the patient goes with having care. They don't go without having care. That's super, super important. And then again, by having the higher price, which increases the profit margin, it also covers the cost of having these additional employees on your staff. And so therefore you're providing a superior service to the person with the greatest need. You're charging accordingly, and your profits are at the 18 to 22% where they should be.